painting made by a European artist, owned by many Europeans, now sits in a museum in New York. How did a painting like this move so rapidly and so quickly? Why was such a sought-after painting passed around? Who took the painting in a legal or illegal manner?
All of these statements and questions are entirely applicable to our painting, Boy Leading a Horse by Pablo Picasso. Now that the introduction to our documentary is out of the way, we will take you, the viewer, through the chronological movement of the painting, beginning with Ambroise Vollard, the man who Picasso painted it for.
Vollard, a man of wealth, saw the importance behind Picasso as an artist and sought to obtain a piece for himself. Picasso was commissioned in 1905 to paint Boy Leading a Horse for Vollard to Vollard's delight. Vollard later decided to sell the painting in 1907 to Gertrude and Leo Stein, prominent art collectors.
This transaction is easily the least questioned in its authenticity due to the fact it happened before the outbreak of World War II. Leo and Gertrude Stein were brother and sister and both prominent art collectors of that day and age. Despite their relatively modest upcomings, they both became prestigious and wealthy and moved to Europe together at a young age, earning them the reputation of wealthy Americans. When the two split, Gertrude gained most of Picasso's work from their collection. This includes Boy Leading a Horse. She later sold it to Daniel Kahnweiler to make her massive collection more manageable in 1913.
Daniel Kahnweiler was one of the most notable French art dealers of the time. Residing in Paris made him a prime buyer of the Paris-located Gertrude Stein, in addition to his appreciation for Picasso and other Cubist artists. He personally owned Boy Leading a Horse for 14 years and parted with it when he gave it as a gift of marriage to Paul von Mendelssohn Bartholdy for his collection in Berlin, Germany.
Bartholdy held this painting for a short time, selling it to the Tannhauser Gallery in 1935. Some say it was because of his declining health due to the fact he passed away shortly after the sale from a heart attack. Others feel the transaction happened under duress due to the outbreak of World War II and the small amount it was sold for. This transaction is one of, if not the most disputed, and has been the subject of many suits by Bartholdy's descendants.
The Tannhauser Gallery hosted many works of modern art, and it was cutting edge for the time, especially because it was in the modern art capital, Berlin. The gallery later was focused on by Nazis who branded it as degenerate art. This oppressive move caused the Tannhausers to eventually sell off most of the gallery and move back to New York. One of the many individuals who bought from this gallery was Albert Schira, who obtained A Boy Leading a Horse. This transaction is easily questionable in its legitimacy due to the label of degenerate art that was forced upon it.
Schira obtained the painting in 1936. Despite Albert Schira's prominence and respect as a Swiss publisher and his ability to purchase the degenerate art, he was forced to reduce many of his activities in the public eye by the Nazi regime. This forced him to stay in his house for extended amounts of time, making him decide to sell the painting to William Paley, an American and wealthy broadcast executive who took interest in many pieces of art under attack by the Nazi regime because of his Jewish background and taste in modern art. Paley obtained the painting in the same year Schira bought it, 1936.
Paley is arguably one of the most important figures in the search for true provenance of Boy Leading a Horse. He owned the painting for nearly 30 years and eventually gifted it to the Museum of Modern Art in New York in 1964. Where the painting sits to this day. This makes him the last individual owner of the masterpiece and the reason the painting was moved to America. This also brings up the question as to whether he had the right to donate the painting to the MoMA, a place that has proved dead set on keeping the painting in its collections.
The MoMA has now set up Boy Leading a Horse in a very large and respectful exhibit. The MoMA has nearly 3 million visitors a year in recent years and is at the top of respected art museums in the country. The MoMA has defended the right to have the painting in multiple suits, with one being most important and publicized.
This particular case started when Julius Schoeps, a lawyer specializing in provenance, sued on behalf of Mendelssohn Bartholdy's heirs for the right to obtain the painting, because they believed Bartholdy sold the painting under duress by the Nazi regime. Originally it was ruled in favor of Bartholdy's heirs, but the museum later made a countersuit that led to a settlement leaving the painting in their possession.
In our opinion, from the research we have formulated, we feel that the shakiest transaction is Tannhauser to Albert Schira. The label of degenerate art of the gallery Tannhauser owned practically forced the gallery to sell the artwork. However, in the case of the Bartholdi suit, the only one from direct descendants of a previous owner, we think that the Bartholdis deserve the painting. But the settlement means that they settle for money instead of the painting, so technically the museum bought the painting. This suit resulted in the artwork staying in the MoMA now, and most likely for years to come, due to the authority the MoMA displayed in legal cases.
This painting is one that has been held dear by many people and hotly contested for many years as to who should rightfully own it. It serves as a cultural symbol of the triumph of early modern art and a unique case where a piece of degenerate art escaped Germany and has found love among art critics and everyday people alike. Our research has given us a greater appreciation of Picasso and his work, especially Boy Leading a Horse. The mysteriousness behind the painting, somewhat muted colors, and little background of the reason it displays a boy and his horse in the first place are all up in the air, making the painting much more intriguing.
Our search for the true provenance of this painting has been very back and forth. Thankfully, the short discussion we had with Nick O'Donnell helped provide a point of view from a legalistic standpoint, and his advice pointed us to the specific court case we touched on earlier. Despite the difficult research, we feel as though this project and all the information we read to complete the project was a great learning experience about a piece of art whose importance is sometimes vastly underrated.